breathing. What could be more natural? Newborn babies can do it. You've most likely been doing it every minute of your life. Why do singers make such a big deal about it? Well, it is simple and natural, but it requires an unusual combination, and a lot of the complications have to do with what you should not do. So here's the quick summary. Ribs forward, chest expanded, breathe in like you're running, breathe out like you're sleeping. That's it. When we're singing, we want to breathe in quickly and deeply and out slowly and smoothly. That's an unnatural combination of natural moves. It's unusual because at the end of a phrase, your body isn't low on oxygen, as it would be if you were running. So you would naturally just breathe in slowly, but that would keep the audience waiting a lot. Normally, we take slow, shallow breaths in and out. When we run or do other aerobic exercise, we breathe quickly and deeply, both in and out. When we sleep, we breathe slowly and deeply, both in and out. Deep breaths with very little movement, very relaxed. So singing is this unusual combination. Breathe in like you're running, breathe out like you're sleeping. Of course, this supposes that you breathe properly when you're running. If you do aerobic exercise like running, pay attention to how you breathe. Watch other athletes to notice their breathing and posture. If you see someone huffing and puffing, bent over, out of breath, struggling to finish, you can be pretty sure he's not going very fast. But it's a very different posture you see in the winner of the race. He probably makes it look easy. Why is that? Let's start with a little physiology. The guts of your body are separated into two parts. Your lungs and heart are in the upper part, surrounded by your ribs. Your stomach, liver, intestines, and various other things are in the lower part. They are separated by a dome-shaped muscle that connects to the bottom of your rib cage. This muscle is your diaphragm, the focus of all breathing. When the volume of the upper part increases, the volume of your lungs increases and air moves in. When the volume decreases, air moves out. The diaphragm makes this happen. When it's relaxed, it moves upward as a result of natural tension in your abdominal muscles holding your guts in. When it contracts, the dome flattens, moving your lower guts downward and expanding your lungs. Often when singers talk about breathing, they talk about the abdomen, the lower part. And while it's important what happens here, it's really an effect, not the cause. The volume change in the upper part, your thorax, can be accommodated by your lungs. But in the lower part, your abdomen, there's nothing that can expand and contract like your lungs. So the only way to allow the diaphragm to move down is to push the guts out of the way. But you don't have to think intestines this way, liver over there. Your guts will figure it out. They do it all the time. Your abdomen should be relaxed enough to allow your guts to go somewhere. You might feel your belly expand and contract, or your sides, or even your lower back. It doesn't really matter, as long as your guts are not prevented from going somewhere by tensed muscles in your abdomen. Now let's look at the upper part, your thorax. If you stoop over, you can feel your rib cage pushing down on your abdomen. Of course, your abdomen already is using all the space it has. So your lower guts press upward against your diaphragm, reducing the volume that your lungs can use. That's why our unfortunate stooped over runner is out of breath. When you're stooped over, you can't breathe in deeply. So rather than bending over with the bottom of your rib cage pulled in, keep the bottom of your rib cage forward. Now you might guess by bending forward and backwards you can breathe out and in. That's true to some extent, and you might see sprinters after the end of a race doing this. But unless you want to look like a bobblehead doll, I wouldn't recommend it for singing. In order to breathe deeply, it's important to stand up straight to make room for your lungs. Your thorax is bounded on the bottom by your diaphragm, but in the front, back, sides, and top, it's surrounded by your rib cage. And so, as you might expect, in order to take deep breaths, we want to expand our rib cage. At first, you might think that you would want to expand your rib cage when breathing in and collapse your rib cage when breathing out. That's possible, but it doesn't work well for singing. That motion is too slow and not smooth enough. When you sing, you want to always keep your rib cage expanded. Then your diaphragm can act quickly and smoothly. This is what is meant by breathing from the diaphragm. You always use your diaphragm when breathing, but this advice means to use only your diaphragm. Breathe from the diaphragm is mostly about what you should not do. Don't push out your belly. Don't rock your chest back and forth or up and down. Breathing in, relax the abs and let the guts go wherever they want. But support the rib cage to hold a lot of air. Chest expanded, lower rib cage forward. Support your chest while breathing out to give a smooth flow. Let the diaphragm do it all. Relax your shoulders. Relax your abdomen. Relax everything else. Pushing out the abdomen collapses the chest. Tightening the abs makes the diaphragm work harder. Focusing on the abs is looking at the effect, not the cause. Just relax. The diaphragm works automatically. Otherwise, you'd suffocate while you slept. Concentrate on keeping your rib cage open, like an umbrella. Bottom of the rib cage forward. Keep your butt in so your chest doesn't collapse. Back straight. Don't lean. Sometimes we're told to keep our weight on the front of our feet. I suppose the idea is that when you do this, you would keep the bottom of your rib cage forward to get your upper body back to vertical. That works if you bend forward from the ankles. The danger, though, is that if you bend forward from the waist instead, then you tilt your head back to keep from staring at the ground, and this puts tension on your neck right around your larynx. That's something you don't want to do. So unless you learn to sing with your feet, I'd suggest not worrying about them. Stand up straight but relaxed. When you're sitting while singing, maybe while playing the guitar, you have to make an extra effort to keep your rib cage forward and to sit up straight. Bending over makes it harder to breathe in. When you reach with your arms overhead, your rib cage expands because shoulder muscles connect to the ribs. When you lower your arms, these muscles relax and your rib cage contracts again. Most of the time you can't sing with your arms in the air, but if you're an evangelical Christian, bless the Lord, O my soul, worship his holy name. Or if you're at a rock concert, hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Well then, go for it. Otherwise, not very useful. But you might think about moving your shoulders up and down while keeping your arms down, like a shoulder shrug. But this adds tension to the neck, which adds tension to the voice, and tension projects. The audience feels the tension in your voice. That doesn't work for a happy song. Tension while running wastes energy. Tension while you're trying to sleep keeps you awake. When you're trying to fall asleep, slow, deep breaths help you to relax. Tension makes singing do weird things. Just relax. Don't try to use your shoulders to help you breathe in and breathe out. Okay, so we don't want to expand our rib cage with our shoulders. How should we do it? Well, there are muscles that go between your ribs called intercostals. These are the guys that do the work. But you don't have to think, contract my intercostals. You just think, take a deep breath, and it's the intercostals that do the work. Breathe in through your mouth. It allows more air in quickly. And breathing through your nose tends to draw mucus from your sinuses down into your throat. So always breathe in through your mouth. Keep your throat open, always. It's very important that your throat stay open after breathing in. And when you breathe out, don't let your rib cage collapse. Don't control the air with your throat, lips, tongue, or vocal cords. They have enough to do already. You might not even notice that you're doing this. Watch for a hic after breathing in, like this. You should notice a chest bounce because the intercostals are not holding, but you still need to keep air in somehow, so you block off your throat. This creates a pressure which bursts at your first word. You use a lot more air at the start of each phrase, and you have nothing left at the end. Okay, you might say, but if I don't close off my throat, all the air escapes. Well, that's true only if you let your chest collapse. The trick is to keep your rib cage expanded. Now that might feel a bit different to you if you're not used to doing it, and you might not even know how to do it. Here's something that might give you the right feeling. Take a deep breath very slowly. Notice that your rib stays expanded all the while that you're breathing in. Now do it even slower. Slowly come to a pause and slowly begin to breathe out without changing anything in your chest or throat. That's the feeling that you want. I think of it as keeping my ribs touching my shirt. I feel it right here at the bottom of my ribs. For you, it might be a different feeling. It might be like you're showing someone what's written on the front of your shirt. It might be like you're breaking the tape at the end of a race. It's good to get some feeling of having your ribs expanded like that. Practice slow, deep breathing without collapsing. It's relaxing to do before singing, too. Make sure, though, that you keep your shoulders relaxed. Keep your neck relaxed. Keep your abdomen relaxed. Concentrate on keeping your ribs expanded. One trick that can help is to practice with your shoulders against the wall. This keeps your back straight, keeps the bottom of your rib cage out. You can also do this lying down on the floor. It doesn't work lying on a bed or a sofa or something like that, because that gives you kind of a hammock shape. Now, a lot of instructional videos give you breathing exercises to do. Rather than that, I just suggest breathing like that anytime, particularly when you're talking. It'll help improve your public speaking skills too. Relax your abs, your shoulders, and your throat. Keep your rib cage expanded with the bottom of your rib cage forward. Stand up straight or sit up straight and just breathe. What could be easier?